Do you hear the people sing, singing the songs of angry men?
It is a music of a people who will not be slaves again.
Yeah, I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. Hello.
Hiya.
If you haven't guessed.
We saw Les Mis.
You did see Les Mis.
And what a time we had. You had never seen it on stage before, had you?
No, so I've performed bits of it.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't seen it on stage. That's the first time that I've seen it. Weirdly, my friend that doesn't like musicals saw it before I did. And it's one of the few musicals he actually likes.
Yeah. Whereas I have seen it, I think, well, yes, including that. Oh, actually, I think I've seen it 4 times, technically.
4 times?
Not all professional.
Okay.
I've seen some amateur. And then I was in it once, and I've seen the film.
Who were you when you were in it?
I played young Cosette.
Young Cosette?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a castle on a cloud.
You're about the right size, even now.
I believe I was a sophomore in high school, so I would have been 16, playing an 8-year-old. I look really young.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, for my grade 8 musical theatre, I was Marius, singing Empty Chairs and Empty Tables.
Lovely.
And I managed to get the grade, so I didn't do half bad, I don't think.
Guess you didn't.
No. And a long way away from what I do now.
Oh, those were the days.
Yes, those were the days. Anyway, so in this episode, we are going to be speaking about Les Misérables at the which theatre, Liv?
It's now called the Sondheim Theatre.
The Sondheim. What was it called before?
The Queen's Theatre.
Okay. Do you know why it changed?
I believe when Sondheim sadly passed away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice little memorial for him.
Yeah.
And you are listening to A&O Review the Show.
A&O Review the Show.
Oh, I really want to sing more, but I'm not going to because I'm going to go straight for the synopsis. Spoiler warning, we will try not to spoil it if you haven't seen it before, but it might happen.
It might happen.
Okay, so,
go for it.
Let's see if I can do this justice. Set in 19th century France on the cusp of a revolution. We follow Jean Valjean, recently released from prison under the eyes of Inspector Javert, serving 19 years for stealing only a loaf of bread. After breaking his parole, he builds a new life under a new identity and eventually becomes a respected factory owner and town mayor. Fantine, one of his workers, is dismissed after spurring the advances of a lustful foreman and falls into desperate poverty. Valjean realizes too late of the damage done and ultimately promises to care for her young daughter, Cosette. Years later, Valjean is still being pursued by the relentless Inspector Javert. Cosette grows up in Paris and falls in love with the idealistic student Marius, who is embroiled in the revolutionary uprising. As tensions explode into rebellion on the streets of Paris, the lives of Valjean, Cosette, Marius, and Javert collide at the barricades, leading to dramatic confrontations and life-changing choices for them all.
Very nice.
Hopefully that was dramatic enough.
Yeah, I think it was. It helps you speak a bit of French.
A little bit of French.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be testing that in this episode. So I'm just I'm not, that's...
Yeah?
I will occasionally pronounce Javert as Javert, but I think that's as far as I'm going.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, yeah, it's quite a show, isn't it? What did you think?
It's a classic. I think you said it was one of the longest running musicals in the West End.
Yes. Shall I talk through that? It is the UK's longest running musical, 41 years.
41 years.
This year.
Okay.
Yes, 1985.
Do you happen to know whether it opened here?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
So,
At the same theatre?
no. It was, so I have this as well. It was originally a concept album in France.
In France?
In France.
Okay.
And it was then sent to Cameron Mackintosh by a director. And this director hired Cameron Mackintosh to adapt this concept album for the English stage with the RSC. So
the RSC was involved in it?
the RSC, up until very recently, I believe, got originating royalties on the show.
Okay.
But
I'm not sure I ever knew that.
but I didn't know that either. And so yes,
Time, haven't they?
the English language version first opened here in London. Been running for 41 years.
So when it was a concept album in France, was it in French?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes. It is the second longest running show in the UK. I said it's the longest running musical in the UK, but it's the second longest running show after The Mousetrap. And then it is the second longest running musical in the world after a little American show called The Fantastics.
I was going to make a joke about the Fantastics, but I genuinely haven't heard of it. So I don't need to make a joke. I have. It is a little show to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, so it's safe to say Les Mis has been around for a while. And I agree. It's one of the best, I think.
Well, for me, obviously, when I was in my theatre group down in Cornwall, we used to perform bits of it.
Yep.
I did it for my grade 8 musical theatre. It's very difficult to miss it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was the film.
Yep.
Which I did see beforehand. Not sure I was overly impressed with the film. They made a big deal with that film, saying that it was one of the first of its type where the actors were singing live as they were performing. Didn't really make a difference to me. And then, oddly, the book that it was based on,
Yes.
there was a straight drama adaptation
Oh, yeah.
by the BBC in 2018.
Yes.
Was it 2018? I did write this down somewhere. I think it was 2018.
Yes, it was.
And that I actually found really quite good, although I missed the music aspect of it all. Because obviously they went into the story in much more detail than the musical does. But having said that, God, the performers work their socks off. The music just continues and just doesn't stop.
It does. It's completely sung through. And it's quite incredible that they do that for 2.5 hours.
That orchestra earns their living. They just continue powering through. They don't get a break at all.
Yeah.
The actors at least get a little bit of a break when it's not their numbers, but the orchestra.
Right the way through.
Right the way
Not
through.
stopping.
So they deserve that applause at the end.
But you're right. The orchestra were phenomenal. And the fact that they don't get a break and they have to play through is just insane.
And everything is sung, and they managed to get all of the story out despite all of that.
Yeah.
I sound surprised. Obviously, there are other musicals like that.
Yeah.
But this is one of the definitive ones
Absolutely.
that works like that.
And I think it has a bit of everything. You know, it has several love stories, different kinds of love stories. It has redemption. It has revolution. It has, all the different kind of bits that make a really good story, I think.
Well, one thing I will say, so it's not, it's not a comedy.
No.
It's definitely more of a drama, in a certain sense, a tragedy. I was going to say this a little bit later, but as we're here, I suppose we can speak about it now. It's almost like the French Revolution, or one of the revolutions in France, is a character in this story. It's an underlying sort of rumbling theme throughout. But it's obviously not the main focus. And the story does focus a lot, in my opinion, on the unfairness amongst all of these downtrodden characters. And Javert represents sort of the old guard that is unable to come to terms with what's happening that's new don't get me wrong, this sort of rebellion fails, but we all know what happens subsequently in history. But it's this thing where, and I think I did write this down, there's this sort of running theme of love that's too late. I know this sounds a bit odd, but it's either running too late or it's kind of sideline. Like Fantine and her daughter.
Yeah.
Like they don't really get to have that direct love connection.
Yeah.
And Eponine and Marius.
Yeah.
Who we'll come on to a little bit later.
Sure.
They both get to love from the sidelines, but they never get to love directly.
Yep. I see that. Absolutely. And I guess that's what I meant by different kinds of love. I mean, you have romantic love, you have familial love, you have love between friends, you have unrequited love, you have
Romeo and Juliet love.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a bit of that in there too. So yeah, love of God, like all these different like types of love that are woven throughout the story.
Yeah. And so basically, in case you don't know the show, obviously you heard a little bit about the synopsis, but Cosette is Fantine's daughter.
Yes.
Who's looked after by Valjean.
Yes.
And then we have the Thénardiers, who are the rambunctious sort of, I don't know, semi-criminals. They start off as bar owners, but they're semi-criminals.
Yeah.
They have a daughter of their own called Eponine, and they're also looking after Cosette on behalf of Fantine before Valjean basically takes her after promising Fantine he will.
Yep.
Now, Thénardiers, in my opinion, are not my favourite characters. They have not been my favourite characters in the straight BBC drama. They are not in the musical, in any version of the musical.
Yeah.
They are the comedic relief
Yes.
of it. And I did find that they were also lacking a little bit of stage presence in this production, is one of the few things that I would say didn't sort of wow me. Obviously, with a musical like this, you have to have strong performances. Valjean blew us away. Eponine blows us away a little later on in the show. All of the characters really sort of grab your attention. Thénardier's kind of got a little bit lost in all of the sort of rambunctiousness for me.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on stage during their little bits.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was the choreography or whether it's the fact that we saw it on a Tuesday. But a little of that was lost for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And following that, and I wanted to describe them a little bit before I move on to their daughter, or like the older version of their daughter in Act 2. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on Cosette. She is the daughter that is rescued. She is the one where there is a love story that progresses through. And it's about, or a big part of the story is Valjean's promise to Fantine through Cosette.
Yes.
However, her character doesn't have much to do.
She's not a very exciting character.
Yeah, she does more as a child because she's got one number, and then she falls in love at first sight, very Romeo and Juliet-esque.
Yeah.
With Marius. And then after that, it's a bit, whatever. Classic love story.
Yeah.
Tragedy, love, success, wedding, whatever. Eponine, however, who you would think is a sidelined character almost, because it's the actual daughter of the Thénardiers.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think there'd be that much focus. She has an unrequited sort of friend-zoned love with Marius. And oh my God, like as soon as you get into Act 2, she just nails it.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to watch.
It's heartbreaking. The songs are really powerful. The actress that was doing those songs, I think we've got
Jess Foley?
Jess Foley, yes.
Yeah.
Jess Foley. She just absolutely belted it. And it was excellent. And obviously, with the unrequited love, she still battles on for Marius, does all these favors for Marius, usually on behalf of Marius and Cosette, which is pretty messed up in some ways.
Yes.
And when she unfortunately dies as part of the rebellion, that was one of the biggest moments for me.
Yeah.
And also one of the biggest moments that shows Marius is a little bit of a dick. Like, he goes over to her, kind of mourns her for about 2 minutes, and then goes back into thinking about and singing about Cosette. So, that's my 2 cents. Anyway, I've said enough. What are your thoughts around it?
No, I agree. And Eponine's storyline has always been one of my favorites in the show. And it's that tension between, Cosette was the one you felt bad for in Act 1, and then in Act 2, Eponine's almost is the one you feel bad for.
Well, I will add that the Thénardiers just completely disregard her in adults.
Yeah.
She helps a little bit of the main characters, and that's very much frowned upon the Thénardiers who are continuing with their criminal endeavors.
Their parental skills are very little.
Or they just cast her off.
Yeah.
Cast her away.
Absolutely. My thing I was thinking about a little bit is, when you talking about Valjean's promise to Fantine, and he, that drives him when he finally kind of turns his life around a little bit, and that he's always, after trying to, be redeemed for his sins or what he did earlier on in his life. But it just feels like he's always running. And part of that's because Javert is after him and realizes he's on the run. And so always feeling like he needs to run and try and hide, but also like he's running out of time for things as well, which obviously felt a bit, this is older than Hamilton, but is a little bit Hamilton-esque in terms of
he doesn't sing directly about running out of time.
No,
like
he doesn't.
Hamilton, but yes, I get where you're coming from.
So it just is this, he always has this...
It's another revolution.
Yes, it is a different revolution, different country. But he always feels like he has this impending sense of running out of time and dread, and that things are going to catch up with him, which moves him along in the show, which I just thought was really interesting.
Well, throughout the show, Javert is just completely on Valjean's tail. And Valjean is basically living this dilemma as to whether to keep his promise to Cosette and look after her and bring her up and make her as successful as possible, or whether he hands himself in to Javert and basically pay for his sins, which, to be honest with you, are very, very sort of minor sins. But, this is 19th century France. So.
Yes. They say he got more time, so he stole a loaf of bread, and that was technically 5 years. He was there 19 because he tried to run he tried to break out of prison. So he got over double the time because he tried to run away.
You can't be overly active in France.
No.
No, you've got to be leisurely.
Yeah. So
if he stole that loaf of bread, then sat down and had a coffee and a cigarette, he probably would have been fine.
Let's not stereotype now. So what did you think of kind of the choreography, the sets, the lighting, costume design, kind of that portion of the show?
So the costumes are once again just great.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything other to add. That they were just great. It was 19th century France. It looked like 19th century France. No one looked out of place.
Yeah. In
terms of the set, I thought it was good. It wasn't overly complex.
Yeah.
I did notice a sort of simplicity near the start, especially when we see the sort of factory scene with Fantine and her co-workers and everything. I thought that would bother me, but within sort of 5 minutes, it did not.
Okay.
And I found it interesting because I remember you saying in previous performances you'd seen more complex staging. There was what did you say? A circular wheel in the...
Yes, I can come to that. The turntable.
The turntable in the stage. There wasn't anything like that here, but it was enough to portray everything that I thought possible. There was a little bit of projection.
Yep.
I believe, if I remember rightly, with Javert.
Yep.
At the moment when he decides to purposely fall off a bridge.
Yep.
But yeah. Apart from that, I just thought it was very, very well done.
Okay.
Nothing really stood out to me.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. It did the job.
Mm-hmm.
And for reference, this version of the show has been restaged. It was last year in honor of the show's 40th anniversary. And I believe a lot of these choices are very similar to the touring production of the show, which obviously makes it a little more simplistic, easier to move around as such. Having seen the show before, again, it's not that I disliked it. I just missed some of those choices that were quite that the show's quite known for, and was also were quite revolutionary for their time, pardon the pun. Like the turntable, it was one of the first shows to use that turntable, and it was very emotively effective, especially during the barricade scene. So the fact that it wasn't there, I definitely missed a bit.
So what happened in the barricade scene? So just for reference, in the version we watched, it was very static from the point of view that the barricade was at the back of the stage. They were facing the back of the stage. That was effectively where the enemies were coming from. And we saw everything behind the barricade. Nothing moved around. It was pretty much as is. So how did the turntable before add to that?
So, I mean, it was used in other scenes besides the barricade, and like obviously with different entrances, and especially with the big Act 1 finale, One Day More, where different people come in different points. They could kind of move on different ends of the turntable. In the barricade, I guess it kind of swiveled out a little bit, so you could kind of see kind of from both sides, especially when Gavroche would come up. Actually, I think there have been productions where it's been done where you then see Gavroche in front of it picking up bullets, as opposed to...
We should give a little bit of a shout out to Gavroche, by the way.
We should. He was excellent.
Iago Agrawal, I've got here.
Yeah.
He's the little kid, and he has a small bit part before the barricade.
Yes, he does.
When all of the revolutionaries are drinking in the bar or cafe or whatever.
Yeah.
It is a cafe.
Yeah.
And you don't think very much of him. He plays a much more significant part when the barricade is up.
Yeah, he does. I'm gonna come back to actually something I learned about Gavroche in a second. But
okay.
But then I guess the biggest thing with that is once the kind of final fight scene happens, and all the students sadly die, and they all die in the barricade, and especially their leader, Enjolras, I believe is how you say it.
Yes, I did have this written.
Okay.
Enjolras,
sorry. Enjolras is killed, and there's a red revolutionary flag, and he kind of falls forward to the front side of the barricade and kind of is draped in the red flag. And there's this quite solemn moment that is where the theme music just plays and the whole barricade turns, and you just see them all dead. There was quite an emotive image, which then leads into the song called Turning, which obviously has a double meaning because it's about time turning, but it's also about the turning of the stage as well. So that while I thought that it was beautifully done in this production with candles, which then slowly transitioned into, the ghosts of those students into empty chairs and empty tables, it didn't have quite the same emotive effect for me, but I had seen that before, so I understand that.
So you'd be happy to see that brought back?
I would be. I understand that's more complicated, costs a lot more money. So, yeah, you don't have to do it, producers. It's fine.
Just someone sitting here a little bit unsatisfied, but apart from that, it's fine.
I just prefer the original artistic choices. That's all. So, and there was no, there was no march, the really famous march that they do in the Act 1 finale.
That is true. There's just a lot of flag waving.
Yeah. And they tried to do a slightly different movement and hint at it. But I just wanted the traditional march. This is all I wanted. So.
For me, I would have cared a lot more if the music wasn't so powerful. And as it was powerful, I didn't care. The orchestra was just, And
I mean, that's case in point. You'd never seen the other way. So, you weren't to know, and...
I wasn't to know. And that's not to say that would have not added more to it. But what I'm saying is ultimately, from my perspective, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
So...
The thing I was going to mention about Gavroche just before we move on is I read this, that the writers got the idea to adapt Victor Hugo's novel into a musical while watching Oliver, which connects to our previous episode, and that the Artful Dodger reminded...
The Artful Dodger?
Yeah, reminded them of the character Gavroche.
Yeah, I see the
Gavroche is a character in the book, in Victor Hugo's novel. But I think everyone is. I don't think they've made anyone up for the sake of the musical. So it reminded him of Gavroche, Alain Boublil. And yeah, thus they adapted Les Mis into a musical.
Okay. Well, there you go. Fun fact.
Who knew these two episodes would be connected in this way?
Yeah, we should probably find more sort of links between the episodes in order to make ourselves sound a bit more cohesive.
Yes.
Shall we go into our sort of standout musical pieces?
Yes.
I know we're going a little bit out of order compared to what we prepared, but...
That's all right. I think we're covering most of it.
Okay. What were your standout musical numbers?
Okay. Because you gave me flack last time for saying every musical number in the show almost is my favorite. I really tried hard to whittle it down.
So basically, you can say that all the music in a show is excellent, but you also do have to point out your favorites.
Okay.
I have narrowed mine down to 3.
I also narrowed down to 3.
Okay.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Go first.
Okay. So I think if I had to pick one song, or what would be my number 1, I'd probably have to say One Day More, which is the Act 1 finale with the entire cast. It is such a beautiful theme. Mm-hmm. It runs throughout the whole show, and there's such epic storytelling. It's everything coming together, and I just get goosebumps every time I watch it, hear it.
And I want to add to that's one of my 3.
Okay.
It's obviously at the end of the first act.
Yes.
But there's this essence for me, and you see this occasionally happen with the right music pieces in a film or a television episode, where you just get this sense that there's all these moving jigsaw pieces that are just sliding into place.
Yeah.
The very, definition of this storytelling device done excellently by the music.
Yeah.
And setting you up for what's to come in Act 2. And the cast and the orchestra are just all adding to that sense of completing this jigsaw in prep for what's coming next.
Yeah. I agree. And when there is a turntable, you do get the sense of a jigsaw moving because there are pieces moving.
And there's, because all, characters throughout the show have a little piece of One Day More.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't sound too out of place, too corny. It just kind of feels like all these colliding A, B, and even C stories all just kind of not wrapping up because they're preparing for Act 2.
Yeah.
But all preparing
Yes.
for that sort of big, rupture of a story that happens in the second act.
Yeah. It's probably one of the best Act 1 finales that there is out there, I'd say, in my limited knowledge.
And your other 2?
My other 2, On My Own. It's my favorite solo. I have sung it before. Jess Foley, who we saw in the night, absolutely killed it. It's a beautifully heartbreaking song. And again, such great storytelling, such good acting opportunities, and such lovely imagery in the story as well. In the song, with the lyrics.
I'm beginning to wonder whether you just stole some of my list. On My Own is also on my top 3.
Oh, okay.
And yes, Jess Foley really did kill it. For me, it was just, she was 5 minutes on the stage in the second act and just,
Absolutely.
Because even though her character's in the first act is played by a child, she doesn't actually have anything to say.
Yeah, I don't know if she says anything.
She doesn't say anything. Well, it doesn't sing anything. Everything is sung. So, yeah, she just absolutely nails it. And you instantly get a rush of her character. You know exactly why she's there. You know exactly the relationship between her and Marius. It's so much more established than the weird sort of Romeo and Juliet-ish love at first sight Marius and Cosette story. It's just, it was excellent.
Yeah, You just want him to dump Cosette for Eponine,
Mhm.
which, sorry, doesn't happen. But
Mhm.
do you want to say...
Sorry, Cosette. The person that played Cosette, I think, once again, I have her name here, Ella May Carter.
Yeah.
I believe she was one of the understudies, actually.
Yes.
She was great. It's just Cosette is it's not the sort of character that goes beyond a sort of thin piece of paper for me.
Do you want to say your third song, since I've stolen your thunder on the first two?
Mine is pretty obvious. It's, well, I've actually got this written down. I think I just proved that at the start of this episode, but I just crack into Do You Hear the People Sing just for the sheer sake of it.
Okay.
And it is almost consistently stuck in my head when I think of strong musicals.
It is an earworm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also, like, it's motivating.
Yes, it is very motivating, which is what it's a fight song as such. It's kind of a call into arms kind of thing. So my third differs, so I didn't just copy you. So
Okay. What is your third?
my third is a secret favorite of mine, and it's called The Confrontation. And
Okay.
it is in Act 1, right after Fantine dies, when Javert realizes that Valjean is really Valjean, and he comes to the hospital and is like, I'm taking you in, Valjean. And Valjean's like, I gotta go get Cosette first. And they sing this duet on top of one another where they have these lines, and I've always loved it. It's a male-male duet, and I've always been jealous that obviously I won't ever sing it.
I'd like to point out that Javert is really rubbish at recognizing people because he does not look all that different. And that is about the only period in the show between him, Valjean breaking his parole, and Javert realizing this mayor of this town is actually the guy that broke parole, is the only time in this timeline where Javert is not chasing him. From that point onwards, he is on his tail. Come hell or high water.
It's like the light bulb went off, and he's like, I know now.
It's obsession.
Yes.
Javert needs to see a counselor.
Yes. He needs some therapy. Definitely.
And sorry, whilst I'm on my rants of characters, and I keep coming back to Marius, actually more than Cosette, Marius really does quite annoy me. Towards the end,
Okay.
this is a little out of place, but towards the end, Valjean basically realizes that maybe not realizes his time is up, but doesn't want to stay in hiding because he feels bad and wants to be able to say who he is and not hide. Basically goes, hey Marius, you can have my stepdaughter and you can all get married, but I have to go away because I don't want to sully her reputation. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story. I was an ex-criminal that stole a loaf of bread, and I'm going to go away. Don't tell Cosette any of this, and don't tell her why I'm going or where I'm going, and don't try to find me. Okay, bye. And then Marius doesn't say anything to Cosette.
Yeah.
Now, if I did that to you, I think you would hang me out to dry.
Yeah, he's right. I would.
So, and especially for the fact that the only reunion is because the infamous Thénardiers try and effectively make money, and in the process of doing so, sell out the information about Valjean to Marius and Cosette on their wedding day.
Yeah.
And as a result, they go and find Valjean. By the way, Cosette doesn't actually turn to Marius and go, why the heck didn't you tell me this before? Anyway.
We couldn't fit that in the lyrics.
Yeah, clearly. And the time that they meet Valjean, he's about to die.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That does not make much sense to me either. And yeah, if it were me, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Marius.
Yes. I'd like to also, I had down here to give a special shout out to Fantine and her performance. The actress who played her that night was Lucy Jones, who's well known across the West End. She was very good.
Sorry, yes, Fantine was excellent. Her character's a bit fleeting because obviously she's at the start and a little bit at the end, but she nailed it while she was on stage.
She did. And a special mention to Bring Him Home as well, the song.
Yes.
Yes.
Bringing Him Home is an excellent song. So, we are close to wrapping this up. But I wanted to try one new thing.
Okay.
Don't know whether this will be a continuous thing.
Okay.
But in every musical, in every theatre piece, there are a huge number of characters.
Yes.
Whether they are at the front and centre or whether they're referenced in the middle of a monologue the way you never see them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's good to focus on some of those side characters.
Yes.
But it's difficult because the original material doesn't necessarily give you that fleshed out option.
Okay.
And this is where fan fiction comes into play.
Okay.
And I might have discovered a huge wealth of fan fiction on a website called Wattpad. And on Wattpad, you can find fan fiction about characters that are sidelined. You can find crossovers between genres that really probably shouldn't go together.
Okay.
In this instance, we're going to start off a little bit more sort of softly.
Okay.
And we're going to focus on Enjolras,
Okay.
who is the head revolutionary.
Yes.
And we only really see him in the show for focusing on the revolution and dying for that revolution.
Yeah.
But we also have to realize that Enjolras also has feelings.
Yes, I'm sure he does.
And someone wrote a story called Limerence, where even though Enjolras is essentially a very beautiful, very committed marble statue with excellent cheekbones, Limerence asks, what if Enjolras fancied someone?
Hmm.
So enter this character called Rose,
Rose.
a flower seller he rescues mid-protest. She joins the wine shop crew, and suddenly the man who normally only romances France is dealing with actual romantic tension.
Oh.
There are glances. There are soft shoulder touches. There is emotional conflict. He's still charging towards the barricade, but now he's not just sacrificing himself for the Republic. He's leaving behind a girl who changed him. So it turns out that even the most emotionally unavailable revolutionary can't resist a slow burn. He still dies. It doesn't change his fate.
No.
But there is, and spoiler alert, an epilogue where they reunite in the supposed afterlife. So that's a thing.
Okay.
So pour one out for Enjolras, and don't forget, sidelined characters and plays have a story of their own too.
Great. I'm sure the actor we saw can use that as deep motivation.
Yes, he should. Who is that actor?
Yes, I was going to say, who is that actor? Let's, Joe Griffiths-Brown.
Joe Griffiths-Brown, you have excellent cheekbones and you did really well.
Yeah, you did excellently.
I hope I provided extra motivation for you for your future performances. It's available free on Wattpad if you want to read it. So,
Wow. This is very interesting.
So that might be a thing.
Okay. Continue
Prepare yourself.
our little bits of fan fiction per episode. I'm definitely going to keep it interesting because that was a surprise to me too, everyone.
Yeah, I didn't tell her I was about to do that. So, thank you for listening
Yes,
to our
thank you.
review of Les Mis. We will be back again next time with another musical, believe it or not.
Yep.
And let's say this one will be quite an interesting one where I have to be polite. It will be about Hercules, which is the fourth show we've seen this year.
Yeah, I think so. Fourth one we've seen together this year.
Yes.
So.
At the Royal Drury Lane. So that should be an interesting episode. Do not miss it, and please subscribe if you haven't already.
Yep.
And one thing before we do go, would you go and see the show again?
Oh, yes, we forgot to do that. Yes, I would go see it again.
Yes.
Absolutely. Would you?
So I would too.
Great.
So plug where it is.
Yes, you can see Les Misérables at the Sondheim Theatre. It's booking. It would only take me up through October, but it's gonna book forever and ever and ever. So just go.
Just go. Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
show.